Alright, wow. This is really, really crappy. Really, really, really crappy, you guys. It is like 8 a.m. We are streaming, obviously not on the PC. We are streaming on the iPad. I don't have a microphone plugged in, and it is a really dark room because I'm actually getting ready to go to bed here soon. Night owl schedule. Um, so this is going to be a very poor quality stream. All right, understand that. This is going to be a very poor quality stream. It's not going to sound very good. It's not going to look very good, obviously. Um, but you know what? I wanted to stream. I just did not feel like sitting in front of my PC for 2 hours. So we're just going to do it this way. We're just going to do it this way today. And hopefully you can still kind of hear me, chat, right? Can you guys still kind of hear me? Like well enough? Good enough? I hope. How's everybody doing this morning? Come one, come all. I could probably turn on that light maybe to look a little bit better. But as long as you guys can hear me, we're good. Yeah, is it like okay enough? Like I probably do sound far away and a little bit fuzzy because we're on the iPad. Because we're on the iPad, so it might not sound the greatest. What's up, Tracy? Sweet Life. Yeah, it might not sound the greatest, but as long as you guys can make out what I'm saying. How's everybody doing this morning? I haven't been to bed yet. I haven't been to bed yet, guys. How's everybody doing? This is going to be a very odd time to stream. For me, at least. Very odd time for me. We do have a point for today's stream. We do have a point for this stream, and that is you're only worried or concerned about your anxiety, and you only care about your anxiety because dot dot dot. So stick around. That's what we're going to be talking about in just a minute. I know the quality is real crappy, but as long as you can hear me and make out what I'm saying, then we should be okay. That's what's important. That's what's important. Let's let the Discord chat know that we're live. Actually, I'm gonna pull the stream up on my end real quick to make sure that we're legible. Okay. Let's. How do you do this? Okay, that's really low. That's really low. I'm probably gonna have to grab my microphone. I'm probably gonna have to grab my microphone. I don't even know if you can hear me. All right. One second, you guys. I'm gonna grab my mic. Alright. So that doesn't give us much light. If I can remember where to even plug this in. There we go. Alright, how's that? Is that better? How's that, guys? Sound better? I thought we might be able to do it without the microphone, but we're going to have to break out the microphone. We're going to have to break out the microphone. The only reason we're doing this stream on my iPad is because I don't feel like sitting at my PC at the moment. It's literally the only reason. Yeah, it's dark. It's dark. As far as the video quality goes, this is as good as it's gonna get. iPad's not that great. iPad's not that great. But as long as you can hear me clearly, then we're fine. Then we're fine. The reason I'm not at my PC is because I didn't even plan on doing this stream. I haven't even been to bed yet. I just figured, you know what? Let's knock out a quick morning stream. We haven't done one of those in a while. Maybe see some new faces from people that are only awake and can only catch us live at this time. So, what's up, Manny? Whoa, way better. I'm deafened. Yeah, it's way better. These little mics are great. They're great. God's child, how you doing? Sweet life. We're going to get started in just a second, guys. We're going to be talking about you only care about your anxiety because ... Stick around and find out. Holly, how you doing? We are going to get going in just a minute. I promise. We try to give it a few minutes every time we start streaming to let some people get in here. YouTube is always very late with sending out their notifications. So we're going to give it a minute. Hello from Greece. How you doing? Good morning. It is about 8 a.m. here. 8 a.m. 12:50 p.m. in UK. Nice to catch you in afternoon. That is awesome. Yeah, I figured I wanted to do a little study today and stream at a really weird time just to see some new faces that we normally don't get to see. However, I'm pretty tired, so that's why I'm not at my PC at my normal setup, and I'm just kind of chilling in the dark for this one. Alright, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. We're about 9 minutes in, so it's a late start. Let's go ahead and get started. You only care about your anxiety because ... right? Why is that? What is the reason? What are you getting at here, Wonder Bro? You only care about your anxiety because you're afraid of what might happen because of it. Let's say that again. You only care about your anxiety because you're afraid of what might happen because of it. That's the only reason. You're afraid of what might happen because of it. Now that can come in many forms. Maybe you're afraid you'll have a heart attack. Maybe you're afraid you'll die in some way. Maybe you're afraid of some physical or mental sort of death or trauma or terrible experience going crazy. You know, the list goes on and on and on. Or maybe you're afraid of your anxiety and panic causing some sort of a horrible thing to happen. Maybe it's not related to a physical disaster, a mental disaster, but some sort of situation or outcome, right? So the point is, you don't care about your anxiety necessarily because of the way it makes you feel. Now, I know that's a hard pill to swallow. That's like, what did you just say? You don't necessarily care about your anxiety and panic because of the way it makes you feel. You care about your anxiety and panic because of what might happen due to the way that you feel, right? It's not so much that you care about the way you feel, it's about you caring and worrying too much about what might happen as a result of the way that you feel. Take that in for a second. Take that in for a second. It's important that you realize that on a deep level, not just surface value here. You only care about the way that you feel because you are worried about the possible result that might come due to the way that you feel, right? So if we know this to be true, and it is, if you think long and hard enough, the reason you hate your anxiety and panic symptoms so much is not because you hate the feeling of energy, of adrenaline. It's not because you hate the feeling of this or that. You might think they're uncomfortable, you might think they're undesirable. Sure, I'm not saying that. But the reason you despise them so much and the reason you worry about them so much is not necessarily because of the way they make you feel. The reason you despise them and worry about your anxiety and panic symptoms so much is because you're worried about what might happen as a result of them. Okay? And due to this worry, aka second fear, you keep yourself tired, stressed, and on edge. But this never happens. Nothing ever comes of your anxiety and panic symptoms. That edge that you're worried of falling over doesn't exist. That edge is imaginary. That edge isn't there. So the mental fear of going crazy or insane never comes. The heart attack never comes. The death in whatever way never comes. And you keep yourself stuck in this hamster wheel. And some people have been stuck in this hamster wheel for a while. And it's so important that you wake up and realize the truth. It's not that you care so much about the way that these feelings make you feel. I'm not saying they're not uncomfortable, but it's not so much that you care about how they make you feel. It's more that you are worried and concerned about what might happen as a result of the way that you feel. Right? So take that in. I know I've repeated myself about 3 or 4 times already, but let's take that in again. It's not that you care so much about the way the anxiety and panic makes you feel. It's that you care and worry so much about what might happen as a result of the way that you feel. Oof. Okay. So have we taken that in? Have we realized that on a deep, deep level? It's important to realize that for one reason. When you come to that realization that it's not so much the feelings. It's not so much that you worry about the feelings. It's that you worry about what might happen because of the feelings. When you come to that realization, you realize that you're keeping yourself stuck in a hamster wheel of fear and unnecessary stress over something that never happens. Oof. Oof. Right? Right? So you keep yourself stuck in this hamster wheel of unnecessary stress, worry, sensitization for far too long over something that never happens. Now, I want to clarify. I'm not saying that you enjoy the symptoms. I'm not saying that you don't think they're uncomfortable. Yes, they can be uncomfortable. What I'm saying is that your main fear, your main worry, the driving stress behind this hamster wheel that you're on, is your worry about what might happen as a result of these feelings, not so much the feelings themselves. So your fear is always based on something that might happen next, which is always based on imagination. So you keep yourself stuck in this cycle of unnecessary stress and fear over what might happen because of the feelings, not over the feelings themselves. Therefore, you are unnecessarily suffering over something that is not here and never will be here because it's total imagination. Keep that in mind. Oof, it's so important to realize that. You're not suffering so much over the feelings as you are suffering over what might happen because of them. Right? So we get to a point where we can allow ourselves to feel our feelings without running from them. And why is that so important? Why does Dr. Claire Weeks mention 100%? Don't withdraw, don't pull away from the panic. Why does she keep trying to beat this into people's heads in her books? Because if you never let yourself go 100% and you're always falling back last moment with coping methods and withdrawal, okay, what happens? Then you never come to that realization that, hey, it's not so much the feelings that are a problem. It's that I thought something horrible might happen, But guess what? I'm proving to myself with true 100% acceptance that nothing does happen. And the more you prove that to yourself by dropping the coping methods, dropping the safety-seeking behaviors, not pulling out last moment right before the anxiety and panic hits its peak, the more you prove that to yourself, the more you can get closer to that very important truth that it's not the feelings that I hate so much. It's not the feelings that are keeping me stuck. It's my irrational fears about the feelings that are keeping me stuck and keeping me miserable and causing me to suffer, right? But you never get to that realization, and it's so important that you get to that realization, but you never get there if you're always pulling away from the anxiety and panic last moment. If you're always falling back on coping methods last moment. If you're always running away from anxiety and panic the last moment. You never get to that important realization that it's not the feelings causing you to suffer or keeping your nerves tired. It is your irrational fears about the feelings that are keeping you stressed and keeping you tired, right? So, that is the point of today's stream. Quick recap. You do not care, okay, about your anxiety and panic because you hate the feelings so much. You might think you do, okay? You might think you do, and it does seem that way on the surface. But let's go a little bit deeper here. You hate the feelings of anxiety and panic so much, not because of the way they make you feel, but because of what your irrational fears are telling you. Because you're so afraid of what might happen because of the feelings. That's the driving fear. That's what's making you suffer right there. If you allowed yourself to have your feelings, but you weren't worried about what might happen because of them, then it'd be no big deal. It might be annoying, it might be uncomfortable, but it'd be no big deal, right? So imagine if you could experience anxiety and panic symptoms without thinking that something bad might happen because of them. Then it'd just be another feeling. It'd just be annoying. It'd just be uncomfortable. See what I'm saying? Okay? See what I'm saying? So that was the point of today's stream, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Very odd to be streaming at 8 a.m. on my iPad. Didn't think this was going to happen, but here we are. I'm actually very, very proud of the point of that stream. I think it's very important for people to grasp that. Very, very important. And sometimes we don't always get the message the first time around, right? We're in such a bad habit that we don't always get the message and we don't always comprehend it the first time around. So if what I said there didn't convince you 100%, if what I said there has you guessing, if what I said there doesn't fully register with you, then I recommend watching it back as many times as you need, especially if you're in a sensitized place, because when you're in a sensitized place, it's a little harder for you to kind of swallow this information and really take it to heart. So if you're in a very deeply sensitized place, watch this video back a couple times if you need to, until you fully understand what I was trying to say there, because I promise you it's so important that you understand that. So important. All right, you guys. So what's going on, chat? Let's talk to chat for a minute. Let's hang out for a bit. How's everybody in chat doing? How's everybody in chat? Told you guys I haven't been to bed yet. What if you're scared to get depressed? Well, you don't want to entertain that because it's not happening now. So why entertain something that's not happening now? That's the question you have to ask yourself. You can entertain your negative, intrusive thoughts if you like to, but they just cause you so much unnecessary suffering. Why fret and why worry and why stress over something that's not happening now and probably never will happen, right? It's going to do you no good. It's not preparing you. Worry pretends to prepare you. It's not preparing you. It's just stressing you out, okay? And it's making you more likely to feel these feelings of anxiety and depression. So you can actually talk yourself into a state, obviously you guys know this, into a state of full-blown anxiety. You can talk yourself into a state of feeling sad and depressed. And it's all that talking to yourself. You have to stop talking to yourself. Allow yourself to feel however it is you feel, without what-ifing, without second-guessing, and without trying to predict the future. Allow yourself to feel whatever you feel, right? Without that second fear. Tired of the coronavirus. I'm tired of hearing about it, right? Whew. Oof. That was a very satisfying yawn. That was a very satisfying yawn. Do I have any other night owls in the chat? Do I have any other night owls in here? Or is it just me? Am I the only one on this crappy schedule? Look at this hair, man. Look at this hair for a second. It's all over the place. I got really thick hair. Why haven't you slept yet? Because I'm a night owl. This is my normal schedule. This is my norm. It has been for years. I can fix my sleep schedule, but it only lasts for like 2 weeks max, and then I'm right back to being a night owl. Nope, here with you, bud. What's up, Big Worm? Haven't seen you in a minute, dude. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, this is around my time. I'm doing LOL, just here 7 a.m. and haven't slept. I feel you, man. But this isn't weird to me. Like, a lot of people, they're like, that's just so strange. That's just so strange. It's not weird to me. I've done this for so long, so many years I've been a night owl. It's just like, it's just what I'm used to. Anxiety will get worse. You can convince yourself of anything. If you tell yourself that it's going to get worse, it probably will. How did you get over your recent breakup? I'm going through it now. My anxiety is really bad because of it. Any advice? Understand that it's going to take time, and that's not a very satisfying answer. That's not an answer that people want to hear, and the reason behind that is a lot of people want to be able to kind of skip over or fast forward through the difficult feelings, or at least make them go away, and unfortunately that's just not how life works. So, but what we can do, and here's the good news, what we can do is we can learn to embrace our feelings, whether we label them good or bad. There's no such thing as a good or bad feeling, but we tend to label feelings, right? So what we can do, although we can't fast forward through a difficult feeling like heartbreak until we heal, we can learn how to embrace and accept our feelings for what they are, just feelings, while we allow ourselves to feel. Allowing yourself to feel, which means to drop resistance, which means to stop telling yourself that you shouldn't feel this way or that you don't want to feel this way, and instead just allowing it to be, is such a great practice. Because the more you practice that, the sooner you come to the realization that it's okay to feel what you feel. It's okay to feel what you feel. The only time that it becomes not okay to feel what you feel is when you convince yourself that it's not okay to feel what you feel. And that's where suffering starts to take place. That's where true stress and true suffering starts to take place, is when you have convinced yourself that you don't want to feel a certain way, or that you shouldn't. Because guess what? You do. And if you convince yourself that you don't want to or shouldn't, that's when you really start to stress yourself out. So, don't try to find a way to skip through the healing process. Don't try to find a way to avoid the difficult feelings. Instead, let's use this as a perfect opportunity to practice accepting what we feel without labeling it negatively and just allowing it to be, right? It's not easy. It's not easy, but you're going to grow a lot from this, right? You're going to grow a lot from this experience. Sorry, my voice is a little raspy. It's a little raspy today. Throat's dry. Throat's a little dry. What's up, PJ? Good morning. How you doing? How's everything? Going pretty good, dude. Going pretty good. I'm extremely tired, but still got that high energy, still got that high vibe. Physically tired. Just figured I'd knock out a quick morning stream. We haven't done one of these in a while. And I wanted to see, I was really curious to see if we would encounter any new faces today due to the new time. How are you doing? I'm gonna make you guys sleepy. I'm gonna make you guys sleepy, chat. Feel free to recap if you need to, PJ. It was a really solid point. I think we started at about the 8-minute mark. If you want to pull it back to that, about the 8-minute mark. I normally don't upload these crappy quality streams when I stream from my iPad or whatever. But that was a really good point. So a really good stream. I might upload that. Might just go ahead and throw it up on the channel. Why not? Why not? Guys, I got like 12 snapbacks the other day for $30 off Amazon. 12. I seen that deal and I jumped all over it. So I've got a snapback in like every color now. Some of them are kind of ugly. They'll probably never even get the tag taken off of them, but most of them I really like. Can't stop yawning, chat. What the hell? What's the time for you? 8 a.m. Just past 8 a.m. I've been a night owl for so many years that this is just the norm for me. This is my midnight right here. This is my midnight. Hey man, I appreciate that. You keep yawning every time. Yawns are so contagious, it's weird. It's really weird. And the more I talk about it, the more I want to do it. Here we go again. It's not gonna stop, is it? It's not gonna stop, is it? We're just gonna keep going. There it is again. There it is again, chat. 110% accurate, yes. Thank you, Little T. Little T. Thank you, Little T, for the $3 donation. Truly appreciate you. You're awesome. Pat yourself on the back. Little T. You must have a different YouTube name than your PayPal name. But thank you anyway for the $3 donation. We're not at my stream setup, obviously, or I would put your name up here and, you know, the little counter or whatever. But just know I appreciate you regardless. Thank you so much for the $3. Dang it, you're getting me tired now. Maybe that's a good thing. Come here if you want to fall asleep. Nobody really cares about a pounding heart. They're afraid of it blowing up, even though that's not possible. You get the point. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're not so much afraid of the actual feelings, which some people might be in total disbelief when I say that at first, until I explain it. You're not so afraid of the feelings themselves. You're afraid of what might happen as a result of them. That's what's making you suffer, is that irrational fear right there. What might happen as a result of the feelings. I kind of like it. I kind of like this little vibe right here. You know, we got the little soft orange glow going on, right? This is sleepy time today. This is a sleepy time stream. So I'll take a fat nap together. I'll be taking much more of a nap when I get off here. I'll be out for like 8 hours. What's up, WB? What's up, Justin? How you doing, dude? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. For those of you just now joining us, we had a pretty solid point to this stream if you want to watch that back. Or, I think I'm going to go ahead and upload this one here in a bit. So if you want to catch it then, that's fine too. You keep trying not to be afraid of them, but you're coming from a place of, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I need to try not to be afraid of them so that they'll go away. See, as long as you're coming at it from a place of, I want it to go away, you're coming at a place second fear. So if the symptoms build, the symptoms build, and you have to practice not caring because you know nothing is going to happen. But the only time you can get to that place where you realize nothing is going to happen is if you allow yourself to 100% accept and practice that without using coping methods, without pulling away from the anxiety and panic, and without arguing with the negative intrusive thoughts. Just let it all come and do nothing about it. And the more you practice that, the more you start to realize it doesn't matter if it builds or not, because you no longer care, because you realize nothing bad is going to happen, and you've only been lying to yourself with your irrational fears about the feelings for so long. And that's the point we got to get to, right? Carol, I hope I said your name right. Carol, thank you so much for the $11.15. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome, even on these crappy little iPad streams.
Still receiving generous donations. Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate that. Carol and Little T, thank you so much for your donations. $11 from Carol, $3 from Little T. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Truly helps me out a ton. I have a hard time not answering those second fear thoughts. They catch me off guard sometimes, and I answer them. So second fear is what we add. Second fear is the way we talk to ourselves. I think what you're referring to is first fear thoughts. First fear thoughts, and let's not get so confused with labels. You have negative intrusive thoughts, you can't help those. They just pop into your head. If you start to argue or fight with those negative intrusive thoughts, then you're just fueling the fire, and we can call that second fear. What you need to do is just let those negative intrusive thoughts come and do absolutely nothing, even if they are causing you anxiety, and they probably will cause you anxiety. And it'll probably even cause you to feel a bit uncomfortable when you don't answer those thoughts, right? And that's part of the game. So you have to allow your feelings to come, and you have to allow those negative intrusive thoughts to come, both feelings and negative intrusive thoughts, without doing anything about either, right? And then you teach yourself that you can step out of that hamster wheel by just not getting involved with your feelings or your negative intrusive thoughts. You can teach yourself that it was your involvement all this time that was stressing you out. I can't stand them for even a minute. You can't stand them because that's what you're telling yourself, right? So you tell yourself that you can't stand the symptoms for even a minute. And why do you tell yourself that? Because when you tell yourself that and you're coming at it from that point of view and with that mindset, that is causing your suffering right there. Not the feelings themselves. Not the feelings themselves. But your mindset of, I can't stand them, not even for a minute. That is what's causing your suffering, not the feelings themselves. Start to change that mindset and start to get into the vibe of acceptance, right? Instead of living with that mindset of, I can't stand them. And you'll see how it was your own mindset and the way that you were approaching the feelings and the way that you saw the feelings that was causing your suffering, not the feelings themselves, right? I'm in the habit of saying right a lot, so you'll get used to it if you're new here. Your normal self will return, slowly but surely. Good morning, Wonder Bro. It is a privilege to have your support as soon as I wake up, especially since mornings are the worst for me. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the stream. So let's not label anything as good, bad, worst, or awful. Let's just look at our feelings for what they are, feelings. And let's remind ourselves that the feelings are fine, as long as we're not telling ourselves that something horrible might happen because of them. Because guess what? Nothing horrible ever does happen because of them. But you keep yourself in that hamster wheel by telling yourself that if you don't make these feelings go away, something bad might happen. It's not the feelings themselves. It's all of your irrational, fearful views of them that are keeping you stuck in the hamster wheel. And the more you practice true acceptance without using coping methods, the more you come to realize that, right? You can have flashes of fear. It's completely normal. Completely normal. Let's see here. Let's see. No problem, Gia. I hope I'm saying your name right. Is that the wrong thing to do? Yes, because you're just fueling the fire. The more you entertain these thoughts, the more you're telling your brain that you want to experience them, that they're important and that you need them and that they're somehow dangerous. So if you continue to open the door to a kid who's putting a bag of dog shit on your porch every day and then standing across the street and laughing at you as you stomp on it or try to stomp on it, this kid's probably going to show up the next day with another flaming bag of dog shit as long as you're trying to stomp on it, because it's hilarious to watch you do that. So this kid's going to show up every single day with more dog shit for you to step on, right? Because you keep opening the door. So of course it's going to keep coming back. He's going to keep coming back. He thinks it's hilarious. But if you let the kid knock at the door and you don't give in to the joke, eventually he's going to get bored and move on. See, right now, you're in a bad habit of stepping on dog shit over and over and over again. But eventually we have to stop opening that door. And that might make us uncomfortable at first, but that's the only way to truly make any progress. That's really strange. Hey Kevin, just more to learn, dude. Just more practice to be had. There's still some underlying fear there, right? How do you know you were getting better? You'll know. Trust me. Believe me. There's no way to put it in words, really. You'll start to notice your old self start to come back out. You'll notice your sleep gets better, your appetite gets better, but you'll also just know. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this one here because I'm so tired. I am so tired. Truly underlying to bring me back to a sensitized state. Just don't know what the fear is. I think the fear is you're afraid of going back to a sensitized state, which means if you're afraid of being in a sensitized state, you're still afraid of the anxiety and panic symptoms. If you're still afraid of the anxiety and panic symptoms, you're afraid of them for a reason. So try to figure out what your irrational fears are and why you don't want to feel the way that you feel. And continue to use true acceptance, and you'll see that those fears are just that, irrational and BS. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I love you guys. Thank you so much. It's time to hit the hay and get some Z's in, all right? I love you guys. Stay awesome.